What are some common traits of a person who is successful?
I lost about 3 crore in this venture. I was dazed what to do, how I can solve this problem. And God willing, I get some inspiration that I love training. So I started JETKING School of Electronic Technology. I have trained about 11 lakh students.
Similar thing happened with me that I was running after money. I decided to go to Australia. So the entire purpose of my life from spirituality and money, it all got mixed up and it somehow changed. And then I realized that my purpose was not this. I was in depression for almost a year. So how did you manage that stress in that situation on how to handle with all those situations?
Dalai Lama says, what is the purpose of life is to be happy. But there is some amount of luck and hard work. The lion has to focus on the prey and run as much as possible till he catches. And 90% of times he catches them. Sometimes he misses also. So it is always you may not be successful. But again you have to next day you have to again start your shikar.
What are some common traits of a person who is successful?
Courage or
Thank you so much for coming back on Soulful Therapy Podcast. As promised, we'll keep on bringing the podcast that will help you to grow spiritually and mentally. For today's podcast, we have with us Suresh G. Bhavani. He's built a successful company under the name of JETKING. If you don't know what JETKING is, you should go on Google and check JETKING INFOTRAIN Private Limited. He's built a successful IT coaching company under the name of JETKING. There are more than 200 coaching centers across India. And in this podcast, we talk about how he built his company from ground zero. This podcast is for someone who wants to do something really big in their life. Let's talk about what we have discussed in this podcast. First of all, he talks about his dad, how his dad moved from Pakistan to India while the partition was happening, and how he has built JETKING. Basically, he didn't started with JETKING at first. He started with a different business with a very different business model, and he ended up losing thousands of dollars in that company. And then he got an idea of training people because that is exactly what he likes to do. In this podcast, we discuss how universe have different plans for all of us, and we should not be disappointed by the failure we are having in our life. We've also discussed that it's not just the hard work that pays off, it's also the luck. So that is exactly what we have talked about in this podcast, that there is external force that is helping you out, and there's a bigger picture that you're not able to see right now, which is okay. And there's one more very powerful suggestion given by him, is that we should live in present. Past is which is already gone, and future is that we are not aware about what's going to happen. So it's very important to live in the present. And as always, towards the end, we have given some suggestion for the youth. He tells that it's very important to read and gain knowledge. He suggested one book to the youth, that is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He suggests that everyone should read that book and try to implement what they are trying to tell in that book. Let us know in the comment section your reviews on it. Please give us a thumbs up if you like this podcast, and give us suggestion on what content do you want us to make. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. First of all, thank you so much and giving your such valuable time to us.
मेरा भी सौभाग्य है. I am very happy to be in Amritsar, and I had the wedding of my dear friend. So, and climate is excellent.
Yes.
And I'm enjoying.
Yeah. So basically I was reading about all the things that you've done and everything. So I have multiple questions in my mind. Just for the introduction, for everyone who's listening to us, I was going through and I figured out that you're running a company under the name of JETKING INFOTRAIN
Limited.
So as far as I remember, I think I've done my CCNA certification from JETKING. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I understand.
Maybe I was hired, so I got a job, and I think it was through JETKING or
something. Vague.
Yeah,
vague remember.
Yeah, but it's something when you told me JETKING, and it was instant click that this is something that I know. And I was talking to my parents today. I was like, there was a time when I was being hired through JETKINGs, and now there's a time when I'm interviewing the one who's made JETKING into such a big level. So I wanted to know, and I think everyone who's listening, they want to know कि आपकी journey from building such a big company and, bringing it from from down ground zero to such a big level. वो journey क्या रही है? Because वो journey is something which people will be very interested to know, and especially all the youth out there, because youngsters, they are not happy with what they are doing right now. मतलब ऐसा जैसे if I talk about myself, I have a good IT company job, but still we want to do something different, something more. You know, it's not always complete. So everyone, or like the youth that I know, they want to build something of their self. And what better example can be the one who's sitting with us?
Thank you. I will just take you to my memory lane. JETKING is a company which was made by my father. He came to India after India-Pakistan partition.
Okay.
And he was in the Karachi, very successful businessman. And he used to go to Shakha, and he was a very ambitious youth. He wanted to change India. But fate had something different, like you say, that it depends on luck and hard work. So these are two things required. So he came after partition. He came in Bombay, and his mother carried about 50,000 rupees, which is equivalent to something, crore. Yeah, at that time, part of time. And but he had 5 sisters and 4 brothers to take care of. So immediately joined his brother-in-law's shop, where he learned the tricks of trade of electronics. And he used to sell radios. At that time, they had radios, gramophones, and wall radios. Then something like, at that time, tape recorder, TVs, and all these were not there. And people had only way to get news from BBC was these gramophones and radios. So I remember listening to some BBC news myself. Then within 1 year, he started his own shop by name of Now Bharat Radio Agencies.
Okay.
And that means it was a new India meant for young people, and all Indians and Hindus were coming to India after. Though I think the population was quite big, more than, say, 20 lakhs in Pakistan. But there was a lot of fight going on in between Pakistanis and Indians. And there was no security for, say, Hindu people. And soon he started making do-it-yourself kits. Do-it-yourself kit is something you make with your own hands. Irrespective of your technical knowledge, you can make it. So he made radio kits, and young people used to buy this kit for, say, 50 rupees, 100 rupees, and sell it in the market. Maybe earn 10, 15 rupees on that and make their living. And after that, he also imported spare parts, just walls and transistors and all. In 62, Sony had introduced germanium transistors. And then transistor used to be made of inside silicon. Today, people talk about circuits. There are only micro circuits and small things you see in a mobile. But at that time, they were all, but the basis came from there only, from that circuits. And his brother opened one center in a shop in Chennai. At that time, it was Madras, and one center in Delhi. And they used to he used to import and send it to these two places. Also, he used to travel regularly to these places and go to shops and sell them. And he made a good life. My father had 8 children and 4 sisters and 4 sons, and he made sure that they get a best education because he himself was LLB and couldn't complete because of partition. He was very hardworking. He also opened a factory in Kandivali, in suburbs of Bombay, and started making transistors, full-fledged, not do-it-yourself kits, but full-fledged transistors, which is used to sell in market. I joined him in 74, and my shop where my father used to sit was in the way from Bandra. I used to stay in Bandra and travel to Churchgate. And in the afternoon, I also designed do-it-yourself kit. I designed manuals. That means that manual is a step-by-step process where you can make radio yourself. Either you keep it with you or you sell it for 50 rupees profit margin.
Okay.
So I completed my BCom and bought a nice factory and started making both the things. I also made radios, tape recorders, TV kits. Then I became very ambitious. I started manufacturing TV. Can you imagine if you are making a radio worth 100 rupees and suddenly you go to TV which is more than 8 to 10,000 in 90s, so what will happen? I was dazed with the amount of competition we had. Indira Gandhi ji had given license to around 200 people. Out of that, 197 closed.
Okay.
Yeah, because there was so much competition, and I also closed my factory. I lost about 3 crore in this venture. At that time, we had to open factories out of Bombay, that in outskirts of Bombay. So we couldn't get engineers, we couldn't get anything. And I was dazed what to do, what is the problem, how I can solve this problem. And God willing, I get some inspiration that I love training. So I used to train my 1,000 dealers, radio, tape recorder, TV dealers. So I started JETKING School of Electronic Technology.
Okay.
Yeah. And for 2-3 years, I got a very good strategist. His name was Mr. Khan. He says you have to make a strategy that you should be different from your competitors.
Yes.
So he had some experience of advertising for some computer institute. And so I started. In 3 years, it was very difficult. I was teaching radio, tape recorder, TVs. I was teaching software. And finally, this guy told me, everybody is teaching software. You should be different from them and teach hardware. That is means how to, in 86, our Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi had introduced computers to India. And he said that your future is in computers because you are also hardware manufacturer making radio, TV, so it will be extension, forward integration. So I listened to him. I closed radio, tape recorder and TV and started teaching hardware and networking. Past is history. So I have trained till today about 11 lakh students we had 140 institutes all over India. For example, there were 17 centers in Gujarat, there were UP, there was 15, 20 centers. Delhi itself had around 11, 12 centers. Bombay, we had 7, 8 centers. And we were all prevalent in North. In fact, Amritsar, we had one center.
I think that is why I remember doing CCNA from there.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for remembering. So now during our training, because training is a very boring subject, and we had people who were from challenged background. For example, वो ड्राइवर के बच्चे हैं, वेजिटेबल वेंडर्स के बच्चे हैं, वो were challenged, means they don't have privileges of say rich people or even middle class people. So training had to be made fun, faster and easier.
And affordable.
And affordable, yes. Yeah. So I was in US where I heard there is a person called Bob Pike. He died in October. Bob Pike, he runs creative training techniques. And he makes training fun, faster and easier. For example, it is not only training by rote or लिख के यानी memorization करके, doing things with practical. So it has to be fun, enjoyment. For example, first thing when the student come in the class, you give them balloon and ask them to write some of your tensions and put it in the balloon and blow the balloon and then prick it. So your tension comes down and all your colleagues share those tensions, read aloud. So, if you're running around having fun. So there were a lot of other methods to make it enjoyable. And as I told you, we have trained more than 10 lakh, 11 lakh students, and they are in some of they have made to from good to great. They are very hardworking. Some of them are CEOs of their own companies, and some of them are working as a senior manager, general manager in this company. Their life is very comfortable. So now I am at a juncture where I thought that I have done enough. So I have met great people like you who are devotees of Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. Yesterday I was with you in one temple of iskcon. So there also had so much fun. I could see a lot of young guys dancing and doing bhajan, kirtan. So it was fantastic. I think I will also follow you.
We are here to talk to you so that people can follow you as of now.
The real fun is there.
Definitely. I think
submit to God.
Somehow. I think similar thing happened with me, that I was running after money. I was running after making a comfortable life. I went to Chandigarh for my bachelor's, and then after bachelor's I was hired, I think from some company. I was hired in HCL. So I went to Noida, and then I worked there for a month, and they were paying me very less, like 13,000-14,000 a month.
Yes.
And my father was like, you come home, I'll pay you 50,000. And I was like, what's going on? So I went to Mumbai because my brother, he was working in Mumbai. I went to Mumbai, I gave a couple of interviews. I got selected in a couple of interviews. But then my brother, he was working in an online gaming company. So he told me, why don't you give interview in our company? He asked the CEO and he was like, bring him in. And then I went and I gave the interview. He liked me and he hired me. So I was in Mumbai for a year.
Yeah.
I used to stay in close to Elphinstone station.
Okay.
And I used to work in Colaba.
Mm-hmm.
So I was there for a year. And then my purpose, so basically I started my spiritual journey at a very young age, 2009. But I somehow got distracted when I went to Mumbai. And then company got shifted to Goa. So I was in Goa for 8 months. And then I decided to go to Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to Australia. So the entire purpose of my life, from spirituality and money, it all got mixed up and it somehow changed. But last year when COVID happened, and after COVID, my life got disturbed drastically. And then I realized that my purpose was not this.
Not for money or something.
And I was totally disturbed. Like,
Be happy.
yeah, I was totally disturbed. I was in depression for almost a year. And then I met someone and he suggested me that spirituality is the only way that you can calm your mind. There is no other way. And that too just by reciting the names of the God. It's as simple as that. No money required, no meditation required. You just chant the name of the gods and you'll be sorted out.
Yes.
And I tried that and it just changed my mind and I got directions of where to go and how to do things. But I think the next question can be from your last answer, what you said. So basically, as I told you, I'm working as a cloud engineer as of now. But I figured out my destiny is not something this. Now I'm moving towards podcast. I've been trying to do something else along with my work. And I think similar thing happened with you. Like you started off with transistors and all those things. And now you've been running a coaching company. So isn't it stressful? Because sometimes I feel very stressed out that what am I doing? I have a good paying job and I'm doing something from scratch. And it just sometimes I feel very stressed that is this right? Or I don't know where this is going, or I don't have answers to it. And at that time I just pray. But sometimes you don't get the answers that you are expecting, or it doesn't go the way you want. So how did you manage that stress and that stress in that situation, on how to handle with all those situations?
Dalai Lama says that what is the purpose of life is to be happy.
Yes.
So you should do what you feel happy. But there is some amount of luck and hard work. Both things have to be there. हिंदी में उसको पुरुषार्थ बोलेंगे कि आप हमेशा अपना कदम उठाओ, भगवान आपका लक अच्छा बना देगा. There is a very nice श्लोक, उद्यमेन ही सिद्ध्यन्ति कार्याणेन मनोरथे नहीं सुप्तस्य सिंहस्य प्रवेशन्ति मुखे मृगा. उद्यम करने से ही सब हमारी मनोकामनाएं पूरी होती है, न कि सोए हुए. आपने सुना होगा, आप एनिमल प्लैनेट में और इसमें देखते होंगे कि अगर शेर ऐसा सो जावे तो हिरन उसके मुंह में घुस नहीं जाता. Lion has to focus on the prey and run as much as possible till he catches. And 90% of times he catches them. Sometimes he misses also. So it is always, you may not be successful. But again you have to, next day you have to again start your shikar.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is what I feel. Talking to our students many a times, I meet them, and you can't keep on just thinking, having dreams and all. Nothing comes because you don't take action. You know, everybody you hear, whether it is Bill Gates or whether Narayan Murthy or even Modi has reached the Prime Minister's position. How many? He has not taken one day leave in his 10 years journey.
Yes.
So you have to work hard. Some people, we should not be greedy. We must try to enjoy our work and take care of family. But things don't come easy. You must, whatever your parents have done, you must appreciate also. Gratitude is also great, that you should be thankful to what you have, and thankful to God for giving you, and you will get more. There's no problem.
Yes.
Yeah. I will add here that I have my podcast which is known as Equanimity Strategy. You download Spotify and put Equanimity Strategy. So I have logged into one shlok Yogastha kuru karmani sangam taktva o dhananjay siddhi asiddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Perform action. All of us must perform action. Established in yoga. That means, as you said, we should chant 10 times, 20 times, 100 times, 500 times. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Om Namah Shivaya.
Whatever everyone makes up.
Yes, whatever. So, you, while doing your action, you chant the God, so you are not stressed. Miracle kya hoga? God will take care of you. But you have to do both. Take action, perform action, O Dhananjay, established in yoga. Renounce your attachment. See, we are attached to our work. हमने इतना मेहनत कर लिया, फिर भी कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. Renounce your attachment to success. होए, you submit to God. All the work you give it to, offer to God. Perform action, O Dhananjay, established in yoga. Renounce your attachment to success and failure. Equanimity. Be in equanimity with the success or failure is highest yoga. That means connect to God and do your work and you will be successful. You have seen thousands and lakhs and crores of people are successful. If you keep on worrying, nothing will happen.
Nothing's going to happen. Yes. Because it's going to happen the way it is actually going to happen. It's so true. And I was reading, when I was searching about you, I figured out that you have a Spotify channel with equanimity. And I searched the meaning of what equanimity means. So equanimity is calmness and composure, especially in a difficult situation.
Yes.
So I think that is what Bhagavad Gita also teaches. And there's one very beautiful lesson what I got out of Bhagavad Gita, as you said, detachment. It teaches you exactly what detachment is. Detachment, they are trying to tell, is not something that you are detached from doing your work. While doing your work, you are detached from the results of work.
Yes.
So that is what detachment.
You are better yogi than me.
I'm not. Trust me, I'm still.
You are. This is a very good expression that you work but you remain detached.
Yes. And similarly with families, like that is what Gita is trying to tell us, that you have your parents, you have your family, you have your kids.
Do your duties. Do your duties.
Do your duties. You should not be attached to them in a way that this is mine. Because if we actually look at the world, nothing is ours.
Yes, yes.
Everything is going to just go away.
Bilkul.
Like
yes,
today or tomorrow. So if everything is going to go away, then why are we so stressful about? So that was my point, where I got realization that I'm earning money. I have land which was someone else's before.
Yeah.
Now it's on my name.
Not name.
And when I'll go, it'll be on someone else's name. Yes. So this is not mine. Money is just in the bank. It can go anywhere, anytime.
You can put it on your nose or something like that.
So what I am egoistic about and what actually is mine? Nothing. If nothing is mine, then what am I stressed about?
Why cry?
So that was my point of realization, and that is where I thought that this is something that I want to pursue in more depth. Because eventually I saw that at a very young age that only God is the one who is going to help me. There's no one in the world who is going to help me. I have one quote which I wrote it down somewhere. So it was basically a Dalai Lama quote again.
Yeah.
And he said, people sacrifice their health to get wealth. And then they spend their wealth for health.
Yes, very nice quote.
Yeah, so everyone is so much focused on future and everyone is so focused on making money that they sacrifice their health right now.
And then they cannot enjoy.
Because health is not.
Yes. When you think about past, you get depression. And when you just think about future, you get anxiety.
Yeah.
I mean, beech mein kya hoga?
Yeah.
You take care of that.
And there was another beautiful quote which I was reading, and he was like, whatever is in the past is gone. Whatever is in the future, you are stressing about something which might happen or might not happen. There's always a 50-50 probability.
Yes, yes.
So why don't you focus on the present and make it good so that you forget your past also and your future is also good. So that was a beautiful thing. There's another thing that I wanted to ask you was that since you've been so successful in your life as a
Thank you.
as running a company, you also might have been sitting with people who are on the same level or you build something out. So since you were talking about the book as well, what are some common features or a common trait of a person who is successful?
The common traits has something what Helen Keller has said, that courage or doing something, taking some risk is a genius. So you take some risk for doing it. Every time will not come. Most of us, for example, we went into TV, as I said, and lost 3 crores in 90.
Which is a lot.
Which is today's 20, 25 crores, 30 crores. But then I said, पीछे जो हो गया है उसे रोने का क्या फायदा? So I started this computer institute. I didn't know anything. I am a BCom and I went to Tata Management Center. I went to IIM Ahmedabad. I went to Minnesota Minnesota to Bob Pike to learn tricks of trade, how to make training fun, faster and easier. And in this case, I went to Tata Management Center. There was a person called Menezes Francis. He told me, why your face is so longish? He said, I told him my story, which I have told you. So he said, now you go either stay in Osho Ashram. Osho Ashram at that time was very clean. Nice. And or you go to Igatpuri and do Vipassana. You focus on your atoms of the body. We have got millions and trillions of atoms. They are born and they die.
Yeah.
You will focus, you will sit and focus for 10 days. So you will come to know that this body is ephemeral, transient, because inside you will hear those atoms being born and being dead. And your body will be like doing jan.
Shivering.
Not shivering. There will be some fine noise or dying and some जो छोटे छोटे कीड़े हैं अपने बॉडी में दिखाई देंगे, लगेंगे. And you will have practical experience. You know, Vipassana is absolutely free. They've got hundreds of centers all over the world. And people die to go there. And they come out very, very happy. So you have to sit in the morning or you can do pray for Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, or you can do Vipassana or anything you like to do. But listen to yourself and believe in spirituality. There is something beyond us who is running this world.
Yes.
Clockwise.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I believe that 100%.
Very good.
That is.
Yes.
Because I am 100% believer in that there's someone, if we look at the nature, it's very easy to figure out there is someone out there. We look at the nature, it's beautifully done by someone. There is someone. I mean, you can name whatever you want to, but there's definitely someone who's running the show. And you have to surrender. I think the first step towards spirituality is to surrender.
There is a small sentence. If you do not believe in magic, sometimes say, "Arey, magic ho gaya." So don't believe in magic. So you will not see magic.
Yes.
You have to believe in something. तो जरूर मिलेगा.
Yes, definitely. And the universe also works that way. You will have to believe in right things. So, as you mentioned magic, do you think building that company was something magical or hard work? I'm sure hard work is there, definitely it's there. But the thing that I wanted to know, that was it just hard work, or this, as you said, some external force who was backing you up as well?
I think really definitely there is some force, there is a blessings of parents, then there is karma. So there are a lot of external things. So how you know that we are born in the family? Some people are born in the family जिधर बहुत अंधेरा है, बहुत poverty है और कुछ नहीं
They're
कर
not that
पाते.
privileged as well.
And there also some of them come up with the great ideas like Sundar Pichai and all other lot of people. So you can think how Sundar Pichai is built in 10 years. Google $1 trillion, $3 trillion company, which is income of say 10 nations. So there is some power which helps you.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. That's what. I think there's another thing that I wanted to ask is that what is your suggestion to youngsters out there? Because they also want to do something in their life and they are still trying to figure out, like I was trying to figure out that what is exactly that I want from life. Because sometimes you are working somewhere, but you're not happy. You want to do something different. And how does that journey looks like? And what is your suggestion to all the youngsters, especially out there?
I would suggest that read some books like Gita. पढ़ना नॉलेज लेना बहुत यंग एज में बहुत अच्छा है. और दूसरी बात, देयर इज अ बुक कॉल्ड 7 हैबिट्स ऑफ हाईली इफेक्टिव टीनेजर्स.
Okay.
So
It's another book from this.
yeah. There are about 20 books from author, maybe more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you read that book, it gives you step by step. There are a lot of books for teenagers, but it gives you steps, 7 habits. See, we are made of habits. हमारे को बहुत हमेशा लगता है कि सोए रहना चाहिए, आराम करना चाहिए. अगर सोशल मीडिया पे स्क्रॉल करना है, मज़ा आता है बहुत. मेरे को भी मज़ा आता है. तो वो स्क्रॉल करना इज़ नॉट अ गुड आइडिया all the time, maybe half an hour, 1 hour. So you have to develop. There are few things like I would like to tell you. There are 7 habits he talks about. First, he talks about paradigm and principle. What is your mindset? You want to grow in your life. You want to innovate. What do you want to do? What is your goal? Then he talks that private victory and public victory. In private victory, you start disciplining yourself. That is, be proactive means पहल करना, पहले step लेना to do something. Just don't do. This will make you effective. Begin with end in mind. आपको क्या करना चाहिए, आपको क्या goal है. Always you can consult with your friends and elders, but do your thing which makes you happy. And put first thing first. पहला चीज़ पहले करना है. सवेरे उठना है, अच्छा सा नाश्ता खाना है, फिर पूजा पाठ करना है या whatever. पहले पूजा पाठ या पहले नाश्ता करना है, फिर स्कूल जाना है, कॉलेज जाना है. एंड follow your routine. Don't waste your time in laziness. Don't be lazy. Then he talks about public victory, that our interpersonal relations, you have to not to be angry young man like Amitabh Bachchan. You have to make yourself very cool, smiling, laughing, talking to people with a lot of empathy. And think win-win. हम कभी कभी सोचते हैं win lose कि दूसरा आदमी lose करे, मैं win करूं. वो long term में नहीं चलता है. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. We are always in hurry to say something. allow people to even talk. We should help first person to talk their way so you understand them, and then you provide your thoughts or solutions that will make you really people to love you, give you blessings, and something life will be marvelous. And then synergize. Synergize yani 1 plus 1 is 2, and 1 and 1 is 11. So this can be, you synergize with people, because now in internet age things are quite complicated. Now a lot of companies are collaborating. So collaborating and synergizing is a real word of, it is real word of success. And sharpen the saw. You can't keep on going on working. You have to take a break. Maybe you must have, today the sleep has become very important. Sometimes people say, okay, I sleep for only 4-5 hours. Now they say you must sleep for at least 7-8 hours. And that is sharpening the saw. Recreation, playing games with the youngsters, with your parents, watching even movie, a good movie with your parents is also sharpening a saw. Also going for vacation to Shimla, Mussoorie or any Kashmir. So that will also help you to rejuvenate. And so this book will help you to develop few good habits. So this is similarly in the market, there are a lot of books for youngsters. So you can read them. Reading means just you don't read fast. You make some points. Read one book maybe in 2 months, 3 months, but make point that you understand and remember them. बाकी का तो ऐसे नॉवेल के जैसे पढ़ने का कुछ फायदा नहीं है. You imbibe some positive habits and you will come out with flying colors.
Yes. I think that is what you also follow, because the day before yesterday when I met you and Raghunath Prabhu, he was like, I teach 7 habits and you are living on 7 habit books. So that is something that is really important, because we usually try to read book cover to cover, but we try to finish it as soon as possible.
Yes.
And even if we don't do that, we try to read it and understand it. But the third step is the most difficult one, and which I think most people just skip it, is applying what they're actually telling in the book. I've started reading one book. Its name is Gita 3.
Achha,
it's written by Swayam Bhagwan Keshav Swami Maharaj. And the first part of the book is 18 chapters. So basically there are 18 chapters in Bhagavad Gita. So that books talk about 18 things that world teaches you and 18 things on the contrary what Gita teaches you. So it's a very good book. It talks about actually what world is trying to teach you from their experience and actually what Gita is telling you on the same situation, what is both things are saying. Right. So that is one book which I really like. I think that sums up everything that I had it on my mind. I'll just cross-check.
You are like Ranveer Ilhabadiya, very enthusiastic, always smiling.
Thank you.
Go a long way.
Thank you so much.
My blessings.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on our podcast channel and giving us your precious time.
Thank you.
It was lovely talking to you, and I hope everyone who's listening to you will be very much motivated.
Sure. If they anytime want to contact me, my number is with you. They can call you or establish contact with you.
Sure.
You can give my number to them.
Thank you. Thank you so much.